Dr. Chardale Murray is now the state representative for House District 116, which covered parts of Hollywood, Ravenel, Meggett, Walterboro, and Cottageville. I speak exclusively with the representative-elect for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Dr. Chardale Murray, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups.
Hello, Quintin. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great here.
Okay.
First and foremost, likewise. And first and foremost, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You're now state representative, Chardale Murray.
Yes.
Which obviously you'll be representing House District 116, obviously Hollywood, Ravenel, parts of Carleton County.
Yes.
And, I'm going to go back to the postal query because obviously they said this. In the State House District 116 race, Democrat Chardale Murray had about 52.5% of the votes to Republican Carol Mews 47.82%. What does, obviously 52 to 47 tell you about this particular district?
Well, I probably had people from both parties because what the developments that's going around in the area, we have really more Republicans than Democrats in my district because I have that area like Cottageville,
right.
Roundel, parts of Hollywood, like where John's Island. So I have a lot of Republicans, but I think they didn't look at the party; they look at the individual. So,
and how did
it's probably a close race.
Close race.
Mm-hmm.
How do they look at you? How do they view you?
I mean, I guess my name speaks for myself. Just working with different business owners and being in business.
Sure.
I got a pretty good reputation right now.
Right now. And you talk about from right now, what exactly are those developments in your district?
Well, we have a lot of what's supposed to be affordable homes. In the town of Hollywood, we have 375 new homes.
Right.
That's being built like behind Piggly Wiggly in the town, like 162, and then there's another subdivision they're developing with 198 homes, I believe. So, and then further down in Ravenel area, we have off a new road, a subdivision,
yes.
And I think some manufacturing companies come out there. I'm not sure, but there's a lot of development going on in District 116.
Now, when you talk about that manufacturing company, how many jobs do you hope they'll bring to your district?
I'm not sure, but I hope they do hire majority of people that lives in the town so they can have a livable wage, whatever company they do bring out there.
And what's the livable wage that is in your particular district?
Right now, probably the average person salary maybe $40,000.
Okay.
And if you have homes starting at $200,000, that's not really affordable homes. So, and just the whole state of South Carolina, we need to try to do something with our pay increase. The housings are being developed, the jobs are coming, but we're not hiring a lot of African Americans and minorities. It's like a lot of people come from out of town. So,
are there any people, minority-wise, who are coming from out of town that are coming into your district?
Yes, on John's Island. I think we have a lot of the Latino population. Sure. There's a lot of people over there in that area. Hollywood, I'm not sure, probably a mixture. But what I do know, that's why I'm trying to push hard for the trades in the school.
Sure.
That way the kids can have the aeronautics and be able to get those jobs, like going in and not having all these outsiders come out, and that way they can afford the affordable homes.
You talk about those affordable homes. What tax credit would you ask the state to bring in as far as affordable housing?
So what tax
credit?
I think it's $50,000 right now, but try to do an increase.
Okay.
And that's another thing, we need to have people more informed when we do the increase on the millage on the ballot, because a lot of people, they see the ballot about the millage increase for affordable homes, but for some reason it's not passing because one, either they don't understand it, or two, they feel like, I've heard somebody say they voted for the increase, but never the city tax increase on the property tax.
Right.
But where's the affordable homes, and they were doing it for a while, so they're kind of discouraged, I guess, about the tax increase.
And how many more people in that district have you heard, from as far as this property tax millage?
But it was just a handful of people since after the race we were talking about.
Right.
Because a lot of people had questions about it and they didn't understand it.
Right.
So I think we need to educate people more about how to vote and things like that.
Where is the confidence from those particular people in your district when it comes to voting?
Well, there were, I'll say that the history of voters, we had the history of voters from 1850, so regardless of what, they're going to come out and vote. Now, confidence-wise, they want somebody new now who they can trust, because some of the candidates were running for a while, or they're aware of them, but they're not too sure if they, I'm just speaking for me and what I've heard.
Right.
I was asked to run because they want somebody who's new. I guess they want to new people who can relate to how they feel. So I think the confidence it depends on the candidate, I guess.
And you talk about candidates. Let me talk to you about you. How do you actually relate with the people of House District 116?
Well, what I did, I knocked on a lot of doors and canvassing, but besides doing that, the areas that I'm not familiar with, I look at the precincts.
Right.
I went more in those areas, campaigning, giving away food knives, and things like that. But the people actually the largest precinct, they're in my area, so I didn't have to do too much. They were just saying, hey, they're rooting for me. The Johns Island, Cottageville, Walter, those were the areas I canvassed a lot. Going door hangers and passing out literature.
Wow. And I feel to ask you this again. I should have asked you this as a follow-up. But let me go back to those affordable homes that obviously were being built in your district. How many are those, and how many more are coming?
I'm not sure how many more are coming, but that's right there, almost 500 new homes, which is a lot. Because we might have a problem with traffic, start getting congested right here. 375, that's a lot of new homes for a 2-lane highway, and 198, from what I understand. This was before my time. That's coming to another part of Hollywood.
Now, with that property taxes that these people are supposed to be getting supposedly relief from, where exactly, in your mind, did that money actually go to?
Now that I don't know. It probably went to. I'm not sure where that money went. So that's something I can take a look at.
Sure. Moving forward. And speaking of which, obviously the big talk around town right now is about obviously accessible or affordable health care. How accessible and affordable is health care in your district?
Well, I mean, the whole state, we turned down the special Medicaid, so I don't know how affordable health care is, but for health care, that's something else we can take a look at. Health care. I mean, health care is never affordable. Even when I was younger, you're looking at least $100-something a week minimum for somebody who's healthy. So that's not affordable, especially just coming out of college. So, but I want to push for urgent care. Out on 17.
Sure.
Because a lot of people in my district, like who live in Eddystone and Cottageville area, the nearest hospital is like St. Francis, almost an hour away, and that's ridiculous. I think we can save many lives, and we have urgent care on 17 for those people.
And what type of conversations or talks have you had with the officials of the urgent care so far?
Well, I spoke to one guy from medical MUFC.
Right.
So they're supposed to have a 24-hour urgent care, and maybe I can partner with them and do something out in that area. So we just spoke briefly when they were doing the testing. Out there in Hollywood.
Speaking of which, you just talked about the testing. Let me ask you this. How many cases are there right now in the district of 116 as far as COVID?
I haven't heard of any in 116 according to the mayor in our newsletter.
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure you might have somebody who had it. I know we had some people had it, but as of right now, I'm not hearing anything about COVID. Now, even though I heard that the numbers are rising,
yes, ma'am,
I haven't heard anything about COVID in our area.
Now, as you mentioned, the numbers are rising. How many more testing sites do you want MUSC or, say, Franklin C. Feder to come and bring it to 116?
Well, we do have a clinic out there. Franklin C. Feder have, I think, a site in Hollywood. Yeah. So how often they test, I'm not sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
And obviously, in the midst of COVID, everyone's still talking about, obviously, broadband access. Mm-hmm. How critical is that right now for your district?
Well, broadband is critical because a lot of the students are still not in school. And even with me, I have internet service.
Right.
And with the Google Chrome, but it takes my son like almost 5 minutes just to go to one person for a computer review. So broadband is critical because it makes the people on the island seem like we're on the island by ourselves with no connection. They had, I think, the hotspots before school got out, but that wasn't working because a lot of the kids, they live, well, not live, but when their parents go to work, their grandparents might be taking care of them, and they don't have a ride to connect to these hotspots. So it is very critical. That's one of the first things that I want to do, and then everything else will fall in place, like healthcare, more business and eatery, things like that. Because you can't do anything without the broadband. And that's why I think some of the schools that were closed, we should have some more learning centers, because the kids that's not in school right now, that would help them, like with parents at work, they can go to this learning center and probably a help center, not only for the kids but for the adults. I think that's a good thing. Gotta have broadband. So,
and speaking of which, should the state of South Carolina make internet a utility?
It should, but again, once I go up there, I guess I can get with a group to share the same ideas or thoughts that I have.
Yes, ma'am.
And go from there, get with different agencies. But this is what I'm telling my constituents. This is where their support. I need the support from them in order to make things happen. So with the broadband, I can't do anything without the support of them.
And what support do you need? Because you just mentioned this earlier when you talked about housing. Let's say 300 to 500 homes are being built, and you're afraid that will cause a lot of traffic. Where is your support when it comes to infrastructure? Where is that coming from?
Well, infrastructure, with the roads, I'm not sure, who for it. Again, you have to do assessments, because what I think, that's not what my constituents think. I might think, hey, we don't need to expand the road, and some might say they might want to expand the road. And I know we have a lot of issues with drainage, but we still have to see what it's going to cost. As far as widening the road, is it safe, etc. Lights. I'm not sure where we stand with the infrastructure too, out in the Hollywood area.
And also, when you talk about that, there's always that issue about sewer versus obviously water. Yeah. Where is the discussion on that?
But right now, I know Hollywood, we had some issues with the sewer, but we hired this company that's working with the sewer, Carolina Lift. Yeah. And again, these are the things, once I get to Columbia, try to put money aside for District 116 when it comes to infrastructure. So, because we get the infrastructure under control, and everything else will fall in place when it comes to development. As far as flooding issues and everything else. So,
how bad is that as far as flooding?
The flooding, I don't have too much flooding in my area.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's probably closer to the border, like Ediston, but I don't think we have too much flooding issue. But the ditches do need to be. We have a problem with the ditches being clogged up or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you talk about obviously development. What type of incentives do you want the developers to bring in, as far as obviously things that they want to do, such as housing and buildings and other businesses?
Well, in the rural area, it's a need for everything. So I believe in bringing some houses, but smart growth. So
how do you grow House District 116 with smart growth?
Because we have to weigh our options and see which one is good and bad, for the community. Right now they got a senior home, but I think we need to have affordable homes. And when I say affordable homes, for someone who just came out of college, just regular working class people.
Right.
I'm speaking for myself because when I first came out of college, I was forced to live in the city because we didn't have anything in the rural area. So that's what I'm saying. That's a smart growth. Maybe a few luxury condos or apartments for a single parent or a single family home. Not nothing starting at 200,000.
Where is affordable housing in your district, then?
Where's affordable housing, period, in South Carolina? I mean, it seems like a lot of people moving to Somerville. Most of the people in the rural area, remember, the homes are passed down or someone died. So I don't know. It's a lot of like third or fourth generation.
Yes.
So it's like stability besides the new home. So the homes are affordable. I don't know how affordable it might be in the future with these new homes, new subdivisions, subdivision being developed. We don't have a problem right now.
And what can we expect more from Dr. Chardale Murray in the next 2 years, 4 years?
Well, I will look at issues when it comes to being a female, domestic violence, and put money aside for breast cancer awareness. What to expect, that I will be transparent throughout my district. People can call me at the time if they have an issue, and I'll try to address it. That's my ability. Whatever I can do to serve my community, to make it a better and safer environment, affordable and safer environment, especially when it comes to the seniors and veterans.
That is great to hear. Well, Dr. Chardale Murray, thank you so much for your time. And again, welcome back to Quintin's Close-Ups. And we are socially distanced, and obviously we have to take the masks off so that people can actually hear us. So I hope nobody complains about that.
Thank you. More than 16.
Yes, we are. We are indeed. Well, I hope to have you back, and congratulations and good luck in Columbia.
Thank you. And see you next time.
Yes, indeed. I'll be here.
Okay.